From Volusia to Chico, Williams Grove to Knoxville, and all dirt tracks in between and beyond. This is Winged Nation. One full hour of news and interviews with today's top dirt drivers. Now, your award-winning hosts, Steve Post and Kendra Jacobs.
Hello again, everyone. It is Wing Nation here on MRN.com, talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week, and we love that you've joined us here on Wing Nation. Great program for you. We're going to talk to Brad Sweet a little bit later on. Brad picked up the win with the World of Outlaws this past weekend. We're also going to talk to Bryan Howland, and wow, he won the Canadian Tire Nationals. What a spectacular race up at Oswego, and one of the big races coming up is the Dirt Classic at the fabulous Lincoln Speedway. Jared Adams is going to join us to talk about that as well. You can follow along and join the conversation on Twitter at Wing Nation or on Facebook at facebook.com/Wing Nation. Alongside my partner in crime on this whole venture is Kendra Jacobs. How are you?
I'm good. I'm trying to get all my notes together.
Oh, my gosh. There's
a lot
just so
going
much.
on, really.
A lot going on for sure, and so much going on in the sprint car world. A lot of great races last weekend, a lot of great races coming up. So much going on.
Lots of news, too.
News this week, yes. Very interesting. One of the top things that we learned is that Craig Kinzer is out for the rest of the season, going to have back surgery.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was one of those things that was maybe Gold Cup, the first time he wasn't in the car, and Mikey Kemper, which is also his brother-in-law and his crew chief, filled in and raced. And then we started noticing that trend kind of continued, so they announced this week that, due to an existing injury from a previous accident, Craig has some herniated discs and is going to have surgery to correct that. So
we certainly
better now than beginning of the season, mid-season, get it done and be healthy for 2016.
Exactly. Get it fixed, get going, and move forward. Move on.
And they haven't announced an official fill-in driver, but it sounds like Mikey is going to fill in for the time being.
Fill in for the time being and see where we're at. So we certainly wish our best to Craig along the way. Big news out of Pennsylvania. Susquehanna Speedway Park. Of course, Todd and Rhonda Fisher have owned this track for the last 10 or 12 years, done a nice job with it. Change of ownership there as it's moved on now to some other folks jumping in and owning it, but they have named Colton Gauss as the new general manager. We see Colton, of course, he's a crew member for Casey Kane Racing, but we see him with the big auction up at Williams Grove, the National Open auction, and Colton going to jump into the promotional business up there. So very excited for him and very excited to see how this plays out with Susquehanna Speedway Park.
Yeah, I mean, I think Colton does great things for the sport. We've seen how passionate he is about it. So already, you talk about passion all the time. Having that is a great step towards having a good general manager. So I think they've found that.
It's going to be interesting to see what this looks like because we have so much passion all in one part of the country up there, and how many days do we have to race sprint cars? And so it's going to be interesting to see what Susquehanna Speedway Park, and of course they have a very successful stock car program and very successful with other forms. We always talk about their Sunday night sprint car races with the 410s, but it's just going to be interesting to see how they fill in. It's almost like, did the rich Central Pennsylvania get richer with Colton there? I believe you could probably make a pretty good case for that, and it's going to be fun to see what the schedule looks like, and then ultimately I think Colton's going to do a great job with it because of that passion he has for it.
I completely agree. I think we're going to see really good things out of him. So
good stuff.
It'd be interesting not to see him on the road because he's been such a mainstay with KKR. So
absolutely.
Best wishes to him from all of us.
Really, really cool. One other thing, and I just saw this. Our boy Matt, the Beer Hill Hugger, okay, and we ran into Matt. We hung out with him in Knoxville. Listen to this. Tonight, they're doing a Kick It fundraiser at Jake's Wayback in Mechanicsburg. Rodney Westhafer, Chase Dietz, Brett Marks, Brock Zierfoss, and Lucas Wolf all going to be there. And Matt just kind of wants to do his own little thing. He wants to raise money for some drivers, wants to raise some money for the Kick It program. And so he's just inviting everyone to go to Jake's Wayback. Jake's is going to make a little contribution. They'll raise a little money, and it'll go to the Kick It Fund. So
he
I
should
love
do
that.
like hugs for $1. Like you could get a hug from the Beer Hill Hugger, like the big position.
I bet you can get $5 for that.
He would make a lot of money.
Kendra's a genius here. $5 a hug. Oh, my gosh, I love it. So really, really cool stuff. Let's take a look at our Valco Racing Wheels results page. Of course, Valco is made by racers, for racers. You can find out more information at www.vahLCO. World of Outlaws, Rain won on Friday night. Darren Pittman, or Brad Sweet won on Saturday night at Deer Creek. Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour rained out on Friday night. There's a theme here. Saturday night, they ran twin features. Justin Henderson won, and Billy Alley.
Our buddy Billy Alley.
Our boy Billy Alley won. So
yeah, that's a great event, and I'm glad that they did get the finale in because it's a really good one. And Casey's, my God, did they do enough for the sport? It's amazing.
Yeah, Casey's General's Tour, just fantastic. UNOH All-Star Circuit of Champions, the big one in Fremont, Tim Schaefer on Friday night. Saturday night, I find this fascinating, okay? Saturday night, we're in Fremont, okay? And first and foremost, you're like, okay, how long or, how bad is Dale Blaney going to spank everyone? But we look, Ryan Smith, of course, and Ryan's been for all over the place. He started running with him, and he's been running. He's over in central Pennsylvania. He's kind of doing this overall schedule. Ryan Smith wants, I just find it interesting, the top three, Ryan Smith, Christopher Bell, and Cody Dara. Not an Ohio racer there in Fremont.
Interesting. I mean, Cody's an all-star racer,
all-star
which is
racer,
great,
no doubt.
but
Yep.
not an Ohio
guy.
guy. And you had mentioned that last year we were talking about how strong Ohio was in sweeping the podium when the Outlaws came to town. Not the case at one of their personal biggest races of the year.
Now, Friday night it was Tim Schaefer. Of course, he's Al Equipa, but Cole Duncan and Lee Jacobs. So, I mean, it's, but it all evens out. But I found that interesting. But I think that goes to the strength of the All-Stars.
The depth. And that's something that series was, quite frankly, lacking for a while. And that's why Dale was winning every single night. Yep. Now we're getting some younger blood in there. We're getting guys like Ryan that travel to race with them.
Cody Dara jumping over there.
It's great.
And Greg Wilson, what he's done, oh, my gosh. It's just been phenomenal.
It's been a really, really good years for the All-Star. And I think saying that this year after where we were at last year.
A year from now, a year ago where we were at, a year in December. Remember when that all broke loose on social media and broke loose after the PRI show when Guy Webb had the interview with Lenny Sammons? Oh, my gosh, we're 9 months removed from that, and look where we're at with it. So tip of the cap to everybody with the All-Star Circuit of Champions and all the races up there, and, of course, Fremont as well. King of the West Series, Dominic Scelzi returns to Victory Lane. Really, really good. Had a back injury earlier this season. His dad put him out of the race car. They got him all buttoned up, patched back up. Good to see Dominic Scelzi win. IRA Jordan Goldesbury picked up the win at Beaver Dam. Other winners, Mark Dobmeyer, Lucas Wolf won at Williams Grove. Andy Bond, our boy Dietrich won at Sealands Grove.
Yeah,
Dietrich,
the big race
there.
Yeah,
the big race there, $10,000. Dietrich will be our guest on Wing Nation on MAV TV. Oh, yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry I laugh, but I love Danny Dietrich.
He's
fantastic. I really do. I think when you're that outspoken, people are going to love you or hate you. We love him, Steve.
Absolutely. He's great. Jason Sowald won at Skagit Speedway. Tommy Worley Jr. won at St. Francis. And Sunday night at Susquehanna Speedway Park, because he hadn't won enough this year, Greg Hodnett, 18th win of the season for Hodnett, picked it up at Susquehanna Speedway Park. And finally, the 11th annual Canadian Sprint Car Nationals at Oswego Speedway. Friday night is a preliminary night. Twin features, winner locks into the big one, but they do some other races. The winner, it's Burger Barn night before the Nationals, of course, too. Burger Barn. Hey, folks, trust me, I know from experience.
Steve's going to let you know if food is involved.
That's a great spot. 52 cars showed up. Bryan Howland and Brad Loyette picked up the win on Friday night in those twin features. They do the Dave McLeod Memorial Shootout. That's an all-star race. And Mitch Brown, who we had on the show last week, scored the win in the All-Star race. Yeah, exactly. And they have the Kevin Ward Jr. Young Star Challenge. Max Stambaugh picked up the win on that.
So is that like you have to be under a certain age or under certain years experience?
I don't know what the preliminaries are. 8 states and 2 Canadian provinces represented up there this weekend. Really cool. And Saturday night, Bryan Howland picked up the win. We're going to talk to him later on because this was a spectacular race. So good stuff. And again, that's one of those where everyone works together and gets along. We have spectacular races. So really, really good stuff. There you have it. Our Valco Racing Wheels results page. Again, more information, Valco, VAHLCO. That's VAHLCO.com. We need to step away. When we come back, Brad Sweet joins us here on Wing Nation.
This is Paul McMahon, and you're listening to Steve Post and Kendra Jacobs on Wing Nation.
The new standard in race car screen printing and embroidery, Classic Ink USA. full custom race car track swag apparel, quality customer service, and the industry's finest graphic designers, assuring quick turnaround and the highest customer satisfaction. See the latest designs at ClassicInkUSA.com, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, or call us 724-482-6224. Serving racers and their teams, all divisions, all over the world. Classic Ink USA, at the track and on your back.
The American Sprint Car Series returns for its 24th year. Over 150 events across national and regional schedules, 56 cities, 16 states, and some of the sport's best like Herrera, Swindell, Hafertepe, and Reitzel, along with the next generation of stars. See the full lineup of events at ASCSRacing.com. Get updates on Facebook and Twitter, and catch every Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour event live on RacingBoys.com.
Restore shine with select Turtle Wax appearance products at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Choose select Turtle Wax products from washes and waxes to protectants for $4.99. Clean, shine, and protect your vehicle with select Turtle Wax appearance products on sale for $4.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Back to Winged Nation. Here's Steve and Kendra.
Welcome back, everyone. It is Wing Nation on MRN.com. Hey, big news coming up on MRN at the top of the hour on NASCAR Coast to Coast.
Ooh, what is
oh,
it?
Now, I can't tell
Yes,
you.
you can.
But I'm involved, but I can't tell you.
just tell
I can't tell you. You got to stay with us. So those of you watching live here on Tuesday, just stay in there. We've got Kyle Rickey and Tim Southers from NASCAR going to be here. Big news, and I'm excited about it. Really good stuff coming up on NASCAR Coast to Coast at the top of the hour. So those listening live, if you're not listening to live, if you're listening to this as a podcast, go dial up NASCAR Coast to Coast and hear what the big news is. It's on MRN.com. Joining us now on the program is the big winner from the World of Outlaws this Saturday night at Deer Creek Speedway in Spring Valley, Minnesota. Brad Sweet's on the line. Hello, Brad. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me back on.
Well, congratulations. Sounds like you had to earn that one on Saturday.
I think any outlaw race right now you have to earn with the way Donnie's running this year. So, yeah, it was nice to get back into victory lane for sure.
Well, talk to us about the race, how everything's set up, and getting that big win.
Yeah, we've been fast lately, so we've been, a little bit disappointed that we hadn't got a win. Minot, we were leading and got a flat tire, and then we got a flat tire at Elma leading. So just a little bit of bad luck. Got in a crash around second at Edmonton. So we've had a fast car, and Lee Stoffer's helped a lot. So, we thought we just needed to get a touch better, and so we made a few changes at Deer Creek, and the car was really good, in the dash and then in the A as well. We got the lead, pretty early on a restart, actually. And then, so I watched the video. It looks a lot more hectic behind me. But, I got into lap traffic a few times, but there was quite a few yellows. So, just had to kind of win the restarts, which is always hard when you have Darren Pittman and Donnie Schatz starting next to you. So we were able to do that. And then, just the last few laps there, Donnie kind of found a lane below the cushion and did what Donnie does is put pressure on us. And, there ended up being just a touch of rubber, right below the cushion. Luckily, I moved down with 2 to go and was able to hold him off.
Hold him off and score the victory. You mentioned Lee Stoffer. Lee joined the program here a couple of months ago. What types of things does Lee bring to the table for you guys that you guys are banking continues to take you to the next level?
Yeah, just a different mindset. Lee's from Pennsylvania. He's been around the game for a long, long time. And sometimes you just get stuck in what you think is right and, what's worked in the past. And it was nice just to have a fresh set of ideas, and once I could understand his Pennsylvania language and he understood my California talk, then we got on the same page. And, ever since then, I think we actually understand each other really well. We're on the same page, and, we're able to make good decisions throughout the night, and, he helps with that a lot.
When you bring someone new like that into the team, and your team has been pretty consistent, when you bring someone new in like that, what is the growing pain like with the other guys and everybody kind of gelling and meshing?
Yeah, it's always a little weird, especially in the mid part of the season. And, Mike Carver did a great job for us. We were a young team. We've been a young team for the last, few years, and it just makes the learning curve that much harder. So it's just nice to have experience, someone that's just been around a little bit longer that, just has a little bit maybe more knowledge in certain situations. And, so it's a little bit hard, obviously. I mean, some people, aren't super happy, and some people are excited, and, but once it gets going at the end of the day, as long as we're running good, then, everybody's happy, and that's the goal of the whole team and KKR as a whole, is to run good and win races. So, you got to do whatever you got to do to accomplish that.
Mentioning Lee and mentioning his native Pennsylvania, won't be long you'll be rolling in there. Has to be comfortable going there with a guy that has so much success in central Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm a little nervous. I told him, I said, this is probably the worst driver you've ever worked with at Williams Grove, and he just kind of laughed. But, it's no secret that I've struggled there. It's been an Achilles heel of mine. I've had some decent runs at times, but just struggled. Time trialing's always been a little bit hard for me there, and I just haven't adapted to the track as well as I'd like. I think the more laps I get, the better I get there. It's just such a unique track. So I'm excited to see what Lee, he'll be on my case, I'm sure, and, putting a lot of pressure because it's in front of all his friends and family and stuff. So he's going to want to run good, and he's got a ton of laps there. So with his experience, I'm hoping that it'll, bump us up a little bit, and hopefully we can have some solid runs there.
Well, speaking of Williams Grove creeping up on us, the end of the season's coming close with the Outlaws announcing that 2 races have been postponed till next season. You only have 10 races left this year, and I know when you guys are out there on the road, it's go, 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 but how do you start wrapping your head around, wow, it's almost over now?
Well, you start making plans to go to Australia. No, you just, it actually goes by. This year I've said it a few times. It's just unbelievable how fast it went by. Last year seemed a little harder because I think it was my first year just getting used to the traveling and things. And this year being a little bit more used to it, it seemed like June, July, and August just went by a lot quicker. So, right now I'm kind of a little bit disappointed that it's ending as good as we're running, and but it's also nice. You do need a break at some point to kind of regroup, and I'll go to Australia and race a little bit and just kind of have some fun down there, and then come back and hopefully be ready to come back even stronger next year.
Well, last year when you were in Australia, you got engaged. How are the wedding plans going a year later?
Well, as a race car driver, everything's based around racing and the race schedules and things like that. So it's coming all right. We're looking at the beginning of next year, or here in a few months, we're gonna do it. So I don't know. It's still race season, so we haven't talked about it that much.
Attaboy.
That sounds like a great girl. If she understands that and is not pushing you,
just keep it perpetual race season. There. Oh, I got to go to Australia, honey. Volusia's coming up.
Yeah, now Yuma's involved.
Now Yuma's involved.
So we're not going to have time then.
Oh, see, you got to make the money somehow, right?
Exactly.
Right. Honey, I'm doing this for you. I'm racing this car for you.
You got to spin it You got to spin it in your favor always.
That's right. Absolutely. Spin it in your favor and go forward. That's for sure. Brad Sweet joining us here on the program. And Brad, when we look at the balance of the season, Kendra mentioned 2 races going away. And from a scheduling standpoint, those 2 races were paired up with 2 other races. So you had, Friday and Saturday night, or a Saturday and Sunday combination. How challenging is it now when you're down to racing? Once we get done, we got busy this weekend, busy next week at Williams Grove. But I think other than the World Finals, then you go for 1 night per weekend. How tough is that for you guys in a team, or is it relaxing, or how do you approach that?
Well, I don't love it, but it's just kind of the way it is. I understand, end of the season, there's not a ton of tracks jumping at, willing to take the risk of having an outlaw race in, October and into November. So, it's a little understandable, and we want to race, so we take with whatever we get. But you're right, it's a lot. It slows way down, and it it's hard to keep the intensity up. I wish that we would just bunch a couple of those races together and then either give us an off weekend or go race 2 nights. But it is what it is, and I understand the Outlaws are trying to do the best they can to kind of fill the gap between when the tracks want to schedule races and the World Finals. So we just try to stay as intense as we can. It gets a little more relaxing. The guys get to go home. It's not as quite as intense. But we're in a little bit of a points battle here, and there's 10 races left, so we could end up going forward and and moving forward in the points, or even moving back. So we just got to be careful and try to stay consistent these last 10 races for sure.
And you probably understand the idea of a promoter's position more so than a lot of other drivers because you promoted your first race this year. Is that something we'll see back on the Outlaw schedule next season?
Yeah, I'd like to. I haven't, nothing for sure announced or anything yet, but I'd like to do it. It was a lot of fun last year. I don't know that I'd put tarps back on the track. If it's gonna rain, it's gonna rain. But that was a fun, it was interesting, like you say, to see that side of it, and maybe helps me understand, when certain things happen and promoters make certain decisions. You are at a big risk when you're holding an outlaw race, and you do need the crowd to show up. Otherwise, it's not going to be successful. So, I'd like to do mine again, and just looking at dates and trying to figure out how to make it all work for sure.
Well, it is. There's always something going on, and a lot of things happening good in your world, and that win on Saturday night is another one of them. Brad, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation. We'll look forward to catching up with you in the next few weeks, but thanks for joining us here on the program.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. We'll talk to you later.
There you go. That's the driver of the Ollie's Bargain Outlet car. Have you ever shopped at Ollie's?
I have not.
I love Ollie's.
There's
I
one
love
not
Ollie's.
far from us here. So
There's one right up in Concord, right up there.
I might need to
I
try that
love
out.
Ollie's. I love Ollie's. So that's Brad Sweet, driver of the Ollie's Bargain Outlet car for KKR. One of the great other places beyond Ollie's, this is one of those smooth radio guy transitions.
Ooh, I'm
Another
my
great
interest
place
here.
is the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum
One of my
in Knoxville,
favorites.
Iowa, okay? And they have the Expand the Dream program. You can find out more information at sprintcarhof.com. But we always talk about birthdays. Sunday was Corey Kruzman's birthday, Bob Estes Monday. Tomorrow, Don Edmonds. We'll talk about Don in a little bit. Thursday, Arizona racer Charles Davis Jr. Saturday, Steve Butler. But tomorrow, Don Edmonds, a 1991 inductee, will be 85 years old. This is one of the great, just reading about this guy, one of the great innovators in sprint car racing. Innovated midget. He built over 400 midget cars, over 200 sprint cars back in the 60s and 70s. When they built them, they didn't just stamp them and roll them out. He built them, okay? He was particularly with the suspension design. And then after he stopped building cars in California, he moved to Oregon and started building scaled-down model cars. And still's very active as well at 85 years old. But I always love the tidbits we find with our Sprint Car Hall of Famers.
Yeah, besides the fact that he built 600 race cars?
Yeah. He also built Evel Knievel's Snake River Canyon Sky Cycle. Remember that thing that Evel Knievel was going to jump over the Snake River Canyon on? Remember that years ago when he was going to do? Well, you don't because you're young.
Right, I was like, what
You're
year
young,
was that?
exactly. That was before you were even conceived or thought about. You were just a glimmer in Kenny and Kim's eye when Evel Knievel was jumping that. But Don Edmonds, National Sprint Car Hall of Famer, built the Sky Cycle that Evel Knievel used jumping the Snake River. I just love when we find out about things, and you can find out about our Hall of Famers at sprintcarhof.com, or when you find yourself in the Knoxville area, make sure you just pay them a visit right off from turn number 2. We need to step away. When we come back, the winner of the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, Bryan Howland, he joins us next.
This is Tony Stewart. Kendra and Steve will be right back with more Wing Nation here on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
Hi, I'm NASCAR driver Jeff Gordon. Did you know that 43 children are diagnosed with cancer each and every day? That more children die from cancer than any other disease. Athletes of all ages are dedicating their stats to change these stats, and you can too. Visit JeffGordonChildren'sFoundation.org to become a Kick It champion. No matter what your sport, you can use your points, laps, or goals to change the odds for kids with cancer. Make your stats really count. Become a Kick It champion.
I'm Kerry Madsen. Now back to Wing Nation with Steve and Kendra.
Thank you, Kerry. We are having a great time. And sometime over the weekend, of course, Saturday night was the big Canadian Sprint Car Nationals up at Oswego. This show just is phenomenal. 65 cars showing up there with all the sanctioning bodies. Just really, really good. Everyone working together on it really well. And somewhere along the way, someone sent a tweet or something and says, "Did you see the finish of this race?" And I went and I found it. And then I realized the guy that won the race started in the 20th spot. I said, we got to dial this kid up. Bryan Howland joins us on the program. Hey, Bryan, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Good. Congratulations. What a night you had what a weekend you had up at Oswego.
Yeah, it couldn't have turned out any better for us. Friday night's prelim, we won that and thought we probably used up all of our good luck for the weekend, but it turned out just it was really, really good, the A-main on Saturday.
Yeah, well, Steve just mentioned that we watched the video online. Luckily, we love our followers that send us information. So we watched the video, and then you're like 4 wide coming for the win. Walk us through that last lap. And as a driver in the car, did you even know that it was that close?
Yeah, it's funny about, I kept watching the leaderboard, and I finally saw the 51 come up on the leaderboard in 5th. And I think it was right around lap 23. And I was like, wow, I have some time to get up to these guys. And then I looked deeper into the field, and I could see Steve Poirier and everybody else that was up in front of me. They were reasonably close. So I just kept kind of trying to catch my marks, and, it just kept going at it and trying to stay smooth and stay straight. And we finally caught up to those guys, and it was nice. Parker Price and Steve Poirier were both battling for the lead. So with those two racing, it was kind of giving me a little bit of a chance to catch up to them. And when I pulled alongside them and we went 3 wide down the backstretch coming to the white, that was pretty exciting. I thought I might have been able to get them there, but then I had the lap car in front of me, the orange car, and coming into 3 on the last lap, coming to the checkered, I knew I couldn't follow him around anymore, so I had to just jump out of line a little bit and hope that it stuck in the middle and, again, keep the car straight. And I tried to beat Steve to the wall so I could kind of pinch him off. We made a little bit of contact, but, it was about the only way I was going to be able to win the race. So it might have been a questionable move, but I didn't wreck anybody, and, things just worked out for us great.
What is the emotion? Now, we're sitting here as fans watching this thing, and Glenn Stiers must have spent about $8 zillion on fireworks for that last lap. I mean, the place was blowing up, but what was it like behind the wheel of the car when you realized you'd won that race?
Honestly, it was mostly disbelief.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. It's a bucket list race for our team, and it was a dream come true. It took several hours for us for me personally, to actually have it sink in. I know we were on our way home, and I was riding shotgun with our truck driver. We were just about to the border, and I was like, Dale, we just won that thing from 20th. And we all started laughing, and that was about the time that it just sank in, like, oh my God, that was the biggest race of my career that I've ever won. It was just an unbelievable, I can't even put it into words how remarkable it was for our team. I mean, I'm so proud of everybody, all of our guys. We put in so much effort all year long, the hours in the garage, everything just fell into place on one night.
So when you say we just won the biggest race of our career, then do you have to start positioning yourself for, okay, what's the next one we're going to check off the list?
Well, we always want to get back out to Knoxville. I ran Knoxville in the 360, I think 2005, 6, and 7. And we made progression while we were out there. The first year we didn't really qualify. The second year we qualified and ran in the back. And the third year we qualified really well, but then got into a crash. But that would be another bucket list. I mean, that's even bigger than the Canadian National as far as car count's concerned. That's a larger race. That would be one. I don't know if it would be possible, but it would be fun to try and get that one checked off sometime. The race at Eldora, anything really at Eldora, just because of the track's fame, would be fantastic too. So there's a couple of them out there that we want to check off, but for now we're just going to bask in the sun from this one here.
And I'll tell you what, absolutely well-earned, well-earned. You know, a week or so ago, Kendra and I were on here, and we talked about it, and unfortunately, Bryan, with just the sheer volume of sprint car racing, your region, your part of the country, is one of the absolute amazing hotbeds of 360 racing with the Patriot Sprints, the Empire Super Sprints, the Southern Ontario Sprints, even over west with the NRA and the Sprints on Dirt. Of course, Oswego has a great Friday night program. And I was busting and joking and said, man, if you didn't have Lake Ontario in the middle of it, it would be really cool. But talk a little bit about 360 racing, where you're at up there in upstate New York, with a couple of good series, a couple of good sanctioning bodies, and how good do you guys have it up there as far as the racing goes?
It's great up here. New York puts on a lot of good tracks. We have the Patriot Sprint Tour and Empire Super Sprint predominantly in New York. And between the two clubs, there's a lot of great talent, great equipment, great talent, a lot of things going on. There's a lot of big races, too, that we go to just in New York. We actually have two of them coming up in the next couple of weeks here. Utica Rome is putting on a 3,000-win race, and then I think another 3,000-win race Friday after on the October 9th at Rolling Wheels in Elbridge. So there's good races going on all over the place in New York. And then you reach down into URC down in Pennsylvania, like you said, SOS, SOD over in Michigan, Ohio, NRA. The local track there, Oswego, there's major talent just all over the place. And when we all come together, it's huge. And, to win the Canadian Nationals from all those pulling cars from all those different groups, plus you pull Parker Price and Sam Haferteep and Randy Hannigan all over from the States. It just makes it that much bigger.
So we talk sometimes, Steve, about the health of 360 racing and the health of 410 racing. From your point of view as a 360 racer, Bryan, how do you feel the state of 360 racing is right now in the whole sport?
I think 360 racing is very, very healthy around, especially in our area. Like I said, we have all those clubs to pull from. There's not a whole lot, it doesn't seem like, in Pennsylvania, other than when URC comes around, they cover that territory. But there's a lot of 410 racing south of us. The 360s seem to be very strong up in our area and, across the country, too. There's a lot of different, you have the ASCS organization that travels around. There's ASCS tours all over the country. So 360 racing is pretty big. I don't know if it's as big as 410 racing, both winged and non-winged, but it's very healthy. It's very growing, I think. It's growing rapidly, and the talent level throughout the 360s and all sprint cars is just amazing. They seem to be getting younger and younger. I remember when I was jumping into it, I was young. I don't know if I was ever half the talent that is coming in now, but the talent level just keeps getting younger and better and younger and better, and it's great for the sport.
Great for the sport, indeed. Bryan, what do you do during the week? What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living?
Well, I work for Filtrack Corporation. It's my dad's company. My parents own it. We sell and service automotive equipment like lifts. We do heavy duty and light duty vehicle lifts, bus lifts, air compressors, shop equipment, just general shop equipment.
And your dad used to race also, is that correct?
He did. He raced four-wheelers for a while, then he actually got injured in that, and then he jumped into a limited super modified small block super at Oswego Speedway on Blacktop. And when I was about 9 years old, I showed an interest and I wanted to race, and he said, all right, and he sold his stuff, and I started out in quarter midget at Syracuse Fairgrounds when I was 9 years old, and I've been racing ever since.
I mean, that's a pretty special dad that says, okay, you want to, I'll quit everything I'm doing and give that to you. Was he there for your win this weekend?
Oh, yeah, he's the main man behind all the scenes. he's the one that gets it done in the shop. During the week, me and him go at it. It's all his equipment. Everything is all based around him. And, he's a great father. He's very he's very obsessive. He wants things to go just right, and that is really one of the driving forces behind making our team so successful. Is him being very focused on making things just right.
That is so cool. That is so cool. Well, Bryan, congratulations. You thrilled us with the video of that race, and the crowd there, they were just losing their minds. It was fantastic. Congratulations on that big win. Best of luck throughout the balance of the season. Thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation.
All right, thank you for having me.
There we go. That's Bryan Howland joining us here. Man, that is a great story.
That's a race I really want to get to, Steve. We talk about that area of the country and how passionate they are. Just what he said, when you look at the amount of cars and talent that were there and who else they pulled in that are typically 410 drivers, that is a big race.
It is. It's a huge race. It really is. He joined us courtesy of the Classic Ink Screen Printing and Embroidery guest line. You can find out more information at ClassicInkUSA.com. ClassicInkUSA.com. Hats, T-shirts, sweatshirts, golf bags, hoodies, towels, shorts. Oh, they've got it all. ClassicInkUSA.com. He mentioned also the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. They are hot and heavy into it as they continue on through their season this weekend. And we saw pictures of this Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. When we were out, we spent some time with our friends at MAV TV, and we saw some pictures of this place. What a state-of-the-art track that is.
That place is gorgeous.
There we go. Uh-oh, mash your button. Oh, pushed it. There we go.
That's what happens when girls cross their legs.
Oh, boy.
I just mashed my button without meaning to.
There you go.
But that was not an innuendo. That came across.
Holy cow. Oh, nothing good comes with it when a girl crosses her legs. See that? There you go. Wait a minute. Oh, my gosh. Oh, wow. So
anyway, yes,
you cross your legs and you end up mashing your button. Yeah, absolutely.
Usually I mean those things to come
know.
out dirty, and I did not that time.
That's right. That was awesome.
But yes, that was a great racetrack, or it looks like okay,
you don't even know what I'm talking about. You don't even know what I'm talking about, do you? You don't even know. This is the best Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour segment we have ever done. They are racing this weekend in Wheatland, Missouri. I don't know if you've ever heard about it. Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. Yeah, Kendra, you should check it out sometime.
I can't.
You should check it out sometime.
Yes, we will get to that racetrack. I'm blushing.
Aaron Reitzel is the point leader. Johnny Herrera, Wayne Johnson, Seth Bergman, and Matt Covington, your top five. You can find out more information from our friends at the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour at ASCSRacing.com. Stay with us. Kendra is going to, might need to spritz some water on you.
Oh, my gosh.
I need to splash a little water on you. Kendra's going to settle down just a little bit, and we're going to talk about the Dirt Classic in just a moment.
I'm Shane Stewart, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa. Your destination for sprint car history. Check out the Salute to Champion Doug Wolfgang exhibit featuring 5 of Doug's sprint cars, all 5 of his winning Knoxville Nationals trophies, as well as helmets, uniforms, and other Wolfgang memorabilia. Also check out Damian Gardner's world's fastest sprint car that the Demon drove at 211 miles per hour at Bonneville. Open 7 days a week all year in the sprint car capital of the world, Knoxville, Iowa. The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum.
Racers, that's who Valco wheels are. That's who they know, and racing is what they know. Valco Wheels focus is oval track and grassroots racing, and understand racers need a quality wheel that fits your budget. With over 25 years experience, Valco Wheels produces the best product and give you face-to-face support and customer service at the track. Fast delivery, innovative products, problem solving. Find Valco Wheels at Valco.com on Twitter or Facebook, or call Valco Wheels at 609-758-7013. Valco Wheels.
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, purchase 5 quarts of Howland conventional motor oil and a MicroGuard filter for $16.99, or 5 quarts of Howland Pro DS full synthetic and a MicroGuard filter for $22.99. Plus, earn double O reward points. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Rico Abreu, and now back to you, Wing Nation, with Steve and Kendra.
Want to try that one more time?
Yeah. I'm Rico Abreu, and you're hold on. I'm Rico Aber, and you're, God, I keep reading the top one. I'm Rico Aber, now back to you. Now back to Wing Nation, Steve and Kendra. I'll do it again. I'm Rico Aber, now back to Wing Nation with Steve and Kendra.
Welcome back. Are you all right?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Wow.
I mean, today's just, I'm just not having the best day here.
No, you are having a fantastic day. I'm loving the day you're having.
Oh, my God. You should be.
I am loving the day you're
I
having.
do not get, like, flustered like this very
I
often.
have never seen you. You are so on point, and you're so, and I have never seen you just where you put your head down and just could not go anywhere, go forward. That was great.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know me. You
I
know
know
that I
you,
have a
exactly.
dirty mind and things come out,
That's
but
right.
that was not even expected or intended by any means
I was impressed,
whatsoever.
and then I realized it was an accident. You know, it's like, wow, even by accident.
No,
even by accident, she can mash all the right buttons. So, absolutely. Hey, you know, Kendra, you know a big one's coming up this weekend in Wheatland, Missouri. No, wait a minute. We already talked about that.
Oh, my God. I can't. And now and forever, Wheatland, Missouri and ASCS will hold a very special place for me.
Big tail tanks in Wheatland, Missouri. We've got them covered. We got them covered. Hey, no, a big one coming up. This is one of those events that's come on the scene. Casey Kane involved in the promotion of it. It is the Dirt Classic this Saturday night at the fabulous Lincoln Speedway. Joining us on the program is Jared Adams, who puts this event all together. Hey, Jared, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm not sure I can follow up after that last segment, but I'll do my best.
Jared, you can't, so don't even try. You can't do anything. We're just glad that the audience is all tuned in to see what happens next so you can tell what's going on. So you got a good time slot here. Wow.
Yes, I do. Yes, I got everybody's attention, I guess. So
that's for sure.
That's a good thing.
So what is going on? Tell us all about the Dirt Classic this Saturday night.
Well, it's obviously the second year we're trying to do this, and it's a big event that we're doing in central Pennsylvania that kind of came to fruition last year with myself and Alan Kreitzer came up with an idea to have a big paying race and just sort of see what happens, see if cars and people would show up. And for some reason or another, it seemed to work last year really well. Had a great event, good time, and decided we'll try to do this, make this an annual thing. And so far, so good. But lots of little hurdles in between. But I think we've got most of the things, the problems that we had last year, and the the little things that come up with promotions fixed and ready to go again this year and try to have another big event.
You know what? When there's big races like that, or any big event that anyone does, really, they sit back and they think about, okay, what are the lessons we learned that we need to change, and what are the things that even hit you during the event, like, oh, we should have done it this way. Did you guys have a lot of those aha moments before you came into the second event?
Yeah, we did. Some of them were us being pretty critical of ourselves, but I think that was important in trying to build it and give the fans something that that they're going to want to see year after year. And I think one of the bigger ones was with the unique format that we came up for the event. We put quite a few laps on the track last year, so we looked into that quite a bit this year and figured out ways to kind of get it to where we reduced the number of laps on the track, but still kept the same idea on the format. And I hope at least that we have that answered with for instance, the heat races last year. There were 10-lap heat races, and we scaled them down to 8 laps, which is more the norm with the other series and racetracks that come into the area. So we did that and a few things with the B main as well, and in hopes that will make the show just a little bit more efficient and help out with allowing the track to hold up for the whole 40-lap feature this year.
Jared, in a nutshell, what is the format? Because it is different than pretty much anything I've ever seen before. Just in broad terms, tell them, from time trials to heat race, tell everyone what the game plan is.
Yeah, so the concept, the general concept is that every time you hit the racetrack, you have to be on your A game, and it starts with time trials, just the basic 2-lap time trials, and everyone will get points based off of where they time in, starting out at 100 points and then dropping by 2 points back through. And then we'll start out with the first round of heat races, and we'll start the cars straight up based off of their time trials. So the quick time guys will start in the front rows all the way back to the lower timing guys will start in the back. And again, you'll get points based off where you finish in that heat race. And then after that, we'll have another round of heat races. And in that round, we'll take the time trial finish again and completely invert it. So the fastest time trial cars will start in the back of that round of heats, and the slowest will start on the front row. And we will award points based off of how they finish in that. Take all those points, add them up on the calculators, and take the top 20 straight to the A, and then everyone else will try to get through the C and the B to get the final 4 spots in the A main, and from there we'll line them straight up off of points and race for 40 laps and $20,000 and a really cool trophy to the winner.
Yeah, I love that format because I like anything that's points based, where every single time you're on the track, you have to be good.
I'm a huge fan of anything, and I know a lot of teams don't like this. A lot of guys like straight up time trial races, but from a fan perspective, there's got to be some form of inversion, so someone's going to have to hustle and not start on the front row every time. So I think you've got a really good combination. What was the reaction to this overall? I mean, I know it probably benefited some guys and didn't benefit others, but was the reaction to this fairly good?
From a fan perspective, yes, it was really well received. We got a lot of emails, letters, and just phone calls saying don't change the format. We like the format. And mainly that second round of heats when it's a full inversion. It was really exciting, and I think the fans really enjoyed that. The team's reactions, I think they were still trying to figure it out, being a first-year event and with so many different points to the format in terms of time trials and the heat race lineups and finishes. I think they were still trying to decide, do we like this or not? But for the most part, all good things from the drivers and owners and crew members. Not too much overly negative, but I'm sure as time goes on, if you did well, you'll love it, and if you didn't do so well, you're probably going to wish we would change it.
You have a long history in the sport, and your brother as well, working at KKR, and you've been to all these tracks as a fan, been at them at working in the pit area. What's the biggest difference that you see in the sport as now being a promoter? That's something you might not have thought about as a fan.
Probably this. I thought trying to do this was going to be so easy to just go in, and if you're going to have a big event, the rest will take care of itself, and it's not the case. It's really important to get to know the teams and the drivers and talk to them and get their input. And then secondly, finding a date that works on the schedule. I never had, in my wildest dreams, imagined how tough that is to find a spot with so many great racing facilities and series, and just the popularity of the sport. It seems like it's really taken off, that there's really not a lot of places to really jump in and try to start and have a big event. So that was challenging, but also sort of enjoyable at the same time to find something and try to make it work like this.
It is. It is. The schedule is just brutal, that's for sure. Folks, you can find out more information at www.dirtclassic.com. Of course, Jared, you want to see people come out and attend the race, but you guys are doing pay-per-view on it, correct?
Yes, that's correct. You can get pay-per-view on the day of the event. You can actually sign up now if you would like by either going to speedshiftTV.com or the Dirt Classic website on the homepage. And on every page, at the very top middle, you just click on the Speed Shift TV button, and that will take you to the location to order the pay-per-view. And again, we're really excited about the pay-per-view side of this. Central PA doesn't get a lot of pay-per-view right now, so and some of our sponsors as well. Kading's Performance jumped on board this year, so we're hoping that a lot of people from California will notice that relationship and jump on and check out some Northeast sprint car racing.
Indeed. It is going to be big. It is the Dirt Classic presented by Wayback Burgers this Saturday night at the fabulous Lincoln Speedway. Jared, we certainly wish you the best on it. We appreciate your time joining us here on the program, and have a good weekend up at Lincoln.
Yeah, thank you too. And you two both take care, and thanks for having me on.
Going to be big, that's for sure. There we go. That's Jared Adams joining us here. And another big one, the Pennsylvania Month of Money continues on. That's what they're calling it now. They've even got their own month of money up there, and that's what it is, $20,000
well, it's
this
true.
week.
I mean, we just did the $10,000 at Selinsgrove.
We had $10,000 at Port last week that Brett Marks
Right.
won, $10,000 at Selinsgrove that Dietrich won. Now we're going $20 this weekend and $50 next weekend.
If you're on a roll, you could win some serious money.
Jack.
Just in 1 month ago. Okay, well, that was a good year.
Yep. So far, Dietrich and Marks have been the guys so far that have been cashing in on it. So we'll see. But great stuff. Again, that information is dirtclassic.com. That's www.dirtclassic.com at the fabulous Lincoln Speedway. We need to step away. When we come back, our Kick-It Driver of the Week and a whole lot more. It is Wing Nation on MRN.com.
Hi, I'm Dale Blaney, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Already dreading the thought of the off-season and winter? Head down under with Down Under Racing Tours. Don't be stuck in the cold and snow when you could experience the best sprint car racing in Australia, such as the Classic, World Series Speedway, King's Challenge, President's Cup, and the Australian title with Down Under Racing Tours. Owned and operated by an Australian who knows racing down under. Visit downunderracingtours.com or call 717-364-2576. Down Under Racing Tours for a racing experience of a lifetime.
You're listening to Wings Nation on MRN.com. Talking more dirt, here's Steve and Kendra.
Welcome back. It is Wing Nation here on MRN.com. Having a great time. Kendra, every time we get a chance to talk about our Kick-It Driver of the Week. So I think this week you got a pretty cool one.
Yeah,
you got a cool one every week.
We love when and this is the greatest, when people tell us about things we don't know about. I mean, we try to follow everything on.
Absolutely.
It's very hard. Thank God for social media, Steve. Not only because I'm an addict, but thank God that we get all this information.
Yeah.
But this week is really cool. So Carl Bowser races in Pennsylvania, closer to the Pittsburgh area, so western Pennsylvania.
The Turner's Premium Tea Car.
Yeah, so thank you for teeing that up. So Turner's Premium Tea is a sponsor, and Turner's sponsors the Heart to Heart Family Picnic every year for the Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh.
Really?
So this year, because they're involved with the team, they brought Carl his sprint car to the picnic. Kids got to climb all over the car, meet Carl, really get introduced to sprint car racing, got to introduce the family members of these children to the sport as well. Some of them knew a little bit about sprint car racing. Some of them had no idea, making new fans, putting smiles on kids' faces. This is the stuff that we love, because not only are you helping kids, but you're also introducing new fans to the sport too. And that's the kind of promotions and the kind of partnerships we like to see that are win-win for everyone. So this week's Kick-It Driver of the Week, Carl Bowser.
Oh, that's fantastic. So Turner's Premium Iced Tea for everyone, and Carl Bowser, our Kick-It Driver of the Week. Always like to tell you what's going on with Hercules Tires and Greg Wilson. He will be racing this weekend at Eldora Speedway on Friday night, and going to run. He's a busy weekend. He's going to run with the World of Outlaws this week at Eldora. Then on Saturday night at Atomic Speedway with the All-Star Circuit of Champions, and on Sunday night at Millstream Speedway with the All-Star Circuit of Champions. Want to remind you, if you're coming to the World Finals on Saturday, November the 7th, Greg Wilson will be at Punchy Whitaker's Wheel and Tire Pros in Concord. A big event there at Punchy Whitaker's, all part of the World Finals coming up. That is November 7th in Concord, right here in Concord, North Carolina. Kendra, when we look at the upcoming schedule, World of Outlaws, Friday night Eldora, Saturday night, man, this is a cool one. Berlin Raceway, paved track. They put some dirt down, and they are tearing it up there. Really, really cool.
I mean, this is something that's a lot of work, Steve. I mean, to take a pavement track, put dirt on it. I mean, we saw when Bristol did this back in the early 2000s.
Right.
It is a ton of work. And to make it a track that's racy, it sounds almost impossible. These guys get it done.
All-Star Circuit of Champions, Atomic Speedway on Saturday night in Chillicothe, Ohio, and our friends at Millstream on Sunday night. King of the West Series, Santa Maria Speedway on Friday night. Pair of races for the King of West. Saturday, Ventura Speedway. MOA Series at Quincy, Illinois Raceway on Sunday. IRA has a pair of them. The IRA is still racing in Wisconsin. this deep
Isn't
into
it
September.
like snowing up there?
It probably is, but that don't bother Steve Sinclair. They're just tee it up and go racing.
You know how I feel about Steve Sinclair, one of the best in the business.
Yep.
So he knows what's going to make a good show and not.
Absolutely. Lucenburg Speedway in Wisconsin on Friday, Saturday night, Dodge County Fairgrounds, Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. Weekly 410 racing, Brush Creek Motorsport Complex in Peebles, Ohio. Jacksonville, Illinois, and Williams Grove on Friday night. And, of course, that big one Saturday night at the fabulous Lincoln Speedway, the Dirt Classic. Again, want to remind you, tonight, if you're up in central Pennsylvania, Mechanicsburg, go support the Kick It Foundation, a fundraiser at Jake's Wayback Burger in Mechanicsburg. Rodney Westhafer, Chase Dietz, Brett Marks, Brock Zierfoss, Lucas Wolf joining there. And coming up at the top of the hour, NASCAR Coast to Coast with a big announcement. Big announcement.
Once we go off air, will you tell me?
Yes, after they make the announcement.
No, Steve. You know me. I like to know before everyone else.
Big, huge announcement. Huge announcement.
Hey, Steve, you know last week we asked people to start chiming in on how cost effectiveness in sport. The conversation was amazing. I mean, it was a lot.
Yeah,
so hopefully you got on Twitter and read some of this. But really interesting. I want to put some stuff up on our Facebook page of these are some of the solutions. What do you think? And, you know, I know people keep saying, well, just take the wings off. Not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
That is not what our sport is now. There is a non-wing part of the sport, and there is a wing. So let's take that one completely off the table.
Folks, when we have these debates, let's try to ground them in what is possible and not possible, and that's just not going to happen.
That is not what our sport is. But hearing about, you know, one of the really interesting ones, I love when drivers come out and say this is what we need because they have education that we are not privy to. But they said, you know, we need to figure out ways where the engine is not as important. Whether that's taking away qualifying, because I said sometimes we really tune that engine to qualify and then detune it for the rest of the race because qualifying is so important. Whether it's taking away qualifying completely or putting some kind of restrictions on engines, it's a really interesting concept.
Yeah, we've heard about tires, unhooking the tires, something like that. It's good. I follow along the debate. It's fascinating. Really
I love learning, and that's what I feel like we're getting an education from these guys. So keep it up, folks. I love it.
Absolutely. Really, really cool stuff. Great chatting with Brad Sweet. Great chatting with Brian Howland and Jared Adams. I'll tell you what, just some great stuff, and fascinating to see what happens this weekend, Eldora and Berlin for the World of Outlaws. On MAV TV, we mentioned it earlier, but Danny Dietrich going to join us on MAV TV Saturday morning, 9:30 Eastern Time, and 12:30 in the afternoon. Working on getting Dominic Scelzi. Dominic Scelzi, hoping to have him join us on Wing Nation Weekend presented by Hefner Racing Products. So we got to get him out of school or get him out, make sure he doesn't get in trouble with his dad, that he can call in and do that. So lots going on across the sprint car world, and MRN.com is your source for all sprint car news. Our guy Jeff Wackerlin is up till all hours in the morning getting stories and news and results on there. Thanks to Brad Sweet, to Brian Howland, to Jared Adams. More important than that, thank you for joining us.
You've been listening to the nation's premier winged sprint car radio program, Winged Nation. Tune in next Tuesday at noon for more talk from the dirt tracks. Winged Nation is also available on demand in the MRN.com Media Center or download from iTunes or Stitcher. Winged Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.